Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This will be a relatively short video as I am just sharing with you how I am doing the slash and spread on this pattern M6886. As you all know in the previous video, I think I shared it during my 1 week 1 pattern challenge. I'll leave the link above where I did various versions of this, and I knew I wanted to redo the slash and spread, and so a subscriber asked if I would just kind of show how I did that. So let me share with you what's on the table. Okay, so what I have done here is laid out my pattern piece, and this is what you're looking at is the front piece here. This is the back piece that is not staying there. I just put that there just to do some final measurements. So what I did was all of this tape in different color and all that is just me doing a full bust adjustment on the pattern. On the bodice piece, what I did was just separate the top from the bottom, and on the bodice piece I just did the full bust adjustment, then I reattached it, you know, made sure my grain line and everything matched up. And some of this is scribble that don't mean anything but anyway, so I'm not showing any of that. What I'm showing is how I'm doing the slash and spread. So what I am doing is I have laid out the bodice piece. All my adjustments are made. I marked off, if you can see here, let me just try to get a little closer. You can see these slash marks. That is my waist. The waist on the pattern is like 2 inches higher. So that's one thing that I had learned after doing the M6886 before, is that, and it didn't dawn on me until this year actually, that the waist was high. When I was wearing one of the dresses, I was like, why does this feel like it's pulling up in the front? And that's, the waist was just too high. So I dropped the waist. And so this is where I will be doing my slash and spread. Now, this is not by all means some true hard way of doing this. This is just a way I found after watching a few videos that was easy for me. So it may not be technically accurate, but hey, this is how I do it. So what I've done is, so the pattern piece is laid out. What I am going to do, let me see if I can back up and show you the width of the fabric. This is, I want to say this is 60. So the width of the fabric, what I'm going to do is, once I show you the lines closer here, when I slash and spread it, I'm going to slash and spread out as far as I can. That will take up as much of the width of the fabric. And so here's what I've done. I have, because I didn't want to do a lot of slash lines, and I'll show you that in a second, but I just measured out 3 inches, made a mark. If you can tell there's a mark, 3 inches, another mark, 3 inches, another mark, and another mark here, and then that's it. This is slightly larger than 3 inches on the tail end, but that's okay. I'm not worried about that. I just want a little bit of swish and swirl in the pattern. So what I'm getting ready to do is draw this line all the way up to the waist, all the way over, and then I'll show you what that looks like once it's done. Okay, so what I have done is draw my lines all the way up to the waist, all 4 lines. And so what I'm getting ready to do is cut all the way up to the tip up there where the waistline is, and then I'm going to start spreading it out, and I'll measure the distance between each. So I will show that once I come back. Okay, so this is what I have done. I have went ahead and slashed and spread. I didn't go all the way over. I decided I didn't want to go all the way over. I went mostly. I only have maybe 4 or 5 inches left here on the end. But what I did was I kind of played around with how I wanted to look. And so because this piece is cut on the fold here, I pinned down this entire side so it wouldn't shift or move. And then I went ahead and cut all the way up to the waistline, and then I spread it out about how far I want it. And in between here is 1.5 inches all the way over. So I'm comfortable with that. Now, normally with the slash and spread, once you do this, typically people put paper underneath. So this becomes, you know, their basic maybe pattern for this particular style or design. However, I'm not going to do that, only because if I find after I've made this that I want it to be a little bit more full and a little bit more swishy, I want to be able to just use this again without cutting that extra paper out and re-spread it, just so you know, I can make it a little bit more fuller. But right now I'm going to start off with this and see how this works. But let me show you up here, because usually when you do a slash and spread, you need some kind of hinge to be able to move the pattern piece back and forth. So let me get closer here and show you what I did. So because this is a full bodice piece, what I did is, you saw where I made my lines, dash lines across from my new waistline. So what I did was I cut hinges into these pieces here. So on each side I cut into here, and on this side I cut into here for all of these pieces, which allow me to easily maneuver this strip. And so what I'm going to do is just go ahead and make my notes how far I made all of the slash and spread here. Go ahead and cut this out. Do the exact same thing for the back. So I won't show the back. Do the exact same thing for the back and sew it up. And then the next clip, you will see me in the dress. And by the way, if anybody is interested in learning about a full bust adjustment, even on the knit, I'm taking craftsy classes, which I'll talk about in another video. But if you want to have something free to reference, I highly recommend Vintage on Tap, Bianca's video. I will link it up above, so make sure you check her video out. It's pretty high level on how to do it, but and outside of that, I highly recommend taking the craftsy class, and I will talk about that in another video. So, all right, let's see how this turns out. I'm going to do the same thing to the back, sew her up, and I'll come back on in the end and show you how she looks. Okay, so that was the wrap up of the slash and spread. Like I said, I wasn't going to show you how to sew up the M6886, but just share with you how I did my slash and spread method. The only things that I've done differently is I did a full bust adjustment. Yes, I did on a knit. And when I tell you I love the way it turned out, actually, if you saw my, hopefully I'm putting these videos up in the right order, but you probably just saw my haul video, but there are no drag lines here at all. And this is a thinner fabric, so I was curious on how it was going to turn out, being that it's a little bit thinner. So it's not as thick as a Ponte, but there are no drag lines. Everything absolutely fits beautifully. I will put up a video here of me where you see the full length, but I love it. Dropping the waist down 2 inches totally benefited me. Normally would sit up, it set, when I looked at my previous M6886, it kind of set right up under my breast, which felt a little odd to me, so I dropped that down, which was awesome. And so that is it. Let's see, that was it. That was it. That was it. There's nothing. I did not do the floaty sleeves. I can't even get it out. The floaty sleeves. I just did the regular sleeves with my normal adjustment, which I did in the previous, when I did the M6886 previously. So yeah, nothing new there. Love it. There is some room. I probably could have taken it in a little bit, but I actually like the room. There's, you know, oh, I did do the twin needle. Not sure if you can tell because I had 2 different color threads, and the 2 different types of threads I use, I can tell there's some tension issues, and so that was my first time using a twin needle. So next time I'll have to use the same thread. I use Coates and Clark and the Gutermann, and yeah, those 2 combos with the twin needle did not work all that well. I also did the facing. Remember, I talked about doing the facing, so I did do the facing. I used the interface that I had. Now, the interface I had is a medium weight, so it was a little too stiff for the facing, but the facing fit in beautifully. Again, I'll link Zaria's Creations, her video down below where she talked about doing the facing. I absolutely love the facing. Love, love, love the facing, if you can see it. Love the facing. And so, yeah, I love it. So I'm going to take this off quickly so I can show you a little bit more of the inside, and then that'll be a wrap. Hold on. Okay, just the last bit, I had thrown a t-shirt real quick so I can come back and do this last part. So just so you can see the inside where the facing went in, here's where the facing went in. And I did sew down in the seam to lay it flat underneath there. But like I said, if you do decide to do the facing for the M6886, make sure you use a lightweight, well, let me say this, use the facing or the interfacing that's suitable for the fabric that you're using, the type of knit you're using. Because I tend to not have a lot of heavy knit, I didn't take that into consideration, the facing, the interfacing that I had. So like I said, I would have used the light, or is it called light featherweight interfacing, instead of this, which is a medium to heavyweight, which is cause it to do a little curling here, which, you know, it's not anything to say, oh, it didn't turn out right. It turned out perfectly fine. The facing fit perfectly in there. I serged it down on the inside. I actually did this whole thing on my serger, except for when I, you know, did the little twin needle there. But yeah, that was it. And as you saw in the video, love the way it fits. And it's nice and long and very comfortable. Very nice. I can wear this. This will be something I will wear on the airplane for sure. Or, you know, office day when you have just a casual day at work or something like that. A Friday, I will wear this or something for sure. And I can put a cardigan over it, my Lisbon cardigan, my navy blue one, over it as another look as well, to, you know, dress it up a little bit. And so that's that. So remember I said in the, what I was showing you is that I did not put paper in between here just in case. I wanted this to, you know, have a little bit more swish to it. And so, yeah, I'm still not going to add the tape. I'm going to leave it like this. Just so if I want to spread it different ways and different things like that, I can. And so I put everything on one of these hooks. I had been looking for these hooks for a while. And then I punched a hole through it with my little reinforcement, the little dot reinforcements. If you can see that there. Yeah, the little dot reinforcement. And so I'll hang this up in my closet for future use. Now I have me a, thank you, Zaria. I have my facing pieces now for this. And I think I like the idea of doing facings on this pattern for sure. So that is it, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this. Please give this video a thumbs up if you did. Any questions or comments, please leave them below. Other than that, I will see you in the next video. Have a blessed week, everybody. Bye.